Hey y'all, welcome back to Fitting and Homemaking, or if you're new here, welcome for the first time. My name is Sarah. Today we are doing a mostly whole house clean and reset. It's been a while since I've kind of holistically vacuumed and dusted our main rooms. And here you can see that we are starting in the nursery, which is a room that my daughter and son share together. And I am stripping all of the linens and just tidying a little bit. So this is me dusting their little table and chairs. And obviously I'm sped up quite a bit. This clean took me about, I think the video ended up being like 3 hours long when I compiled it. So obviously we're not going to be doing that. So I think this is sped up 6 times to make it more of like a lovely half-hour chunk for y'all. But it'd be nice if this had only taken a half hour. And here I am just using a wet wipe to clean some stuff off. Apologies in advance. I am quite tired right now, so this is probably not going to be as humorous of a voiceover, maybe not as cheeky of a voiceover as I normally do. My son did not sleep very well last night. It was my night to get up with him if the kids had any issues. And I was up for about the third time around 11:30 at night, and then I just gave up on trying to get him to go back into his crib and stay in his crib for more than like a half hour at a time. Honestly, I think he was just cold. The temperature here dropped quite a bit. We had a big cold front come through. And I think his jammies just weren't quite warm enough. And he doesn't care to sleep with blankets very much right now. Somehow at daycare they managed to get a blanket on him at nap time, but at night he just wants nothing to do with it. So I think he just needed some warm cuddles. So he ended up coming to our bed and sleeping in our bed. And he gave us a nice surprise in the morning by peeing through his diaper, which he doesn't normally do, and getting pee all over our bed. So I'm already doing our bed linens, including our mattress cover and our quilt, because he managed to hit all of that. Yay, there's Max coming to see what I'm doing. But yeah, so I figured, look at me he-manning that bed. So strong. But I figured I might as well do the kids' linens too, because it was probably time. Usually I do them on Thursdays, but I figured, why not? Let's do them today. Or not Thursdays, on Fridays, excuse me. Moving the crib, getting under here. So this is a much more thorough vacuum than I normally do. Normally I do not move my daughter's bed and my son's crib around to vacuum under there. But it was definitely time to do that. And I never move this chair because it is so bulky and the bottom part is so heavy. It swivels and it rocks, which is really nice, but it is a pain in the butt to move around. And look at me peeling up that foam floor. I was astonished it stayed together like that. Never before have those squares stayed together when I have tried to lift them up in that exact way so I can vacuum under them. My kids love this foam floor. My husband loves this foam floor. I detest it because it is incredibly hard to clean. All of the little grit and dirt gets under this. So every time they play with it and they pull up some of the squares or they pull up some of the letters in the squares, it's just so dirty underneath that it's not really something I want them playing with. But it's also a pain because it usually just falls apart when you try to pick it up. That was by far the most successful pickup I've ever had. And when my vacuum is on rug mode, it sounds like it's yodeling, and I think it's hilarious. And I'm just resetting everything in the room so that it's where it's supposed to be. And here we go, laundry time. You can see I have already done a load of laundry. And this is me way overfilling our dryer. But that's our mattress cover for our king-size mattress and the linens for it. And that's just way too much for my dryer to handle, which you will see the next time. And that's me shoving our quilt into the washing machine because things with bodily fluids on them get cleaned first. They always get priority for me. All right, now we're in our living room, and I decided to shoot this from the moon. So sorry the framing's not very great, but I was not about to do a bunch of close-ups today because it would have taken too long for me to keep moving the camera around. And honestly, the house is fairly tidy because I can't function if it's not tidy. I get very distracted by visual clutter, which you've heard me say 1,000 times if you've watched any of my videos. But I do work from home a couple days a week, and I just get so distracted when things aren't tidy. So the house is generally tidy, except for the kitchen with dishes and that sort of thing, but it's almost never clean. Those are two very different things. But given that it's generally tidy, it doesn't make for very good before and after shots. So to get that, I'd have to be like really up close, and I just didn't have time for that today. One thing I did not do in this video is the bathrooms, and our main bathroom is in desperate need of cleaning. So I probably will do a video soon of that where I give you guys the satisfying close-up angles of the disgustingness and nice before and after pictures of that, because that will force me to do it. But here, doing the dusting is, I just hate dusting, so that, and then actually moving the furniture around to vacuum instead of just doing a quick vacuum around it is my more in-depth cleaning for this day, just to kind of get everything back to a good starting point to do more maintenance type cleans. But these two chairs aren't too bad. I do vacuum them out. But since they're on this wall, you can see that wall is fairly bare, the wall that these chairs are backed up to. And that's because in that far corner opposite where the camera is, we have a projector. So we use that wall as like a projector screen. We just move that lamp down to the floor. So my kids don't really sit in those chairs and eat stuff, because if we decide to watch a show or a movie or something, we're sitting on the couch or they're having a little picnic on the floor or whatever. And there's my dog that I disturbed by moving the bed. He's a sweet boy. He's a little disgruntled, but now he's interested in what I'm doing. And he's like, oh, you took some cushions out. Was there any food that came out? There's the yodeling vacuum again. Never imagined it would sound like that sped up. While I was vacuuming the rug, I was a little self-conscious, though. I was like, oh my gosh, did I get all the spots? It's on camera. Like, maybe there's a huge area of the rug that I forgot to vacuum. So I think I go over everything like 3 times. And I do vacuum out the couch, and there is an obscene amount of food in this couch, from Cheerios to completely unidentifiable substances. This couch has actually lasted me a long time, though. I have had this couch for I want to say like maybe 13 years now. It's a little bit smaller than we would like because I originally bought it for a small apartment that I was living in. But the material's like supposed to be pretty stain resistant, and it is. Usually most of the spills that we have on this have come up very easily with, like, even with just like a wet wipe. And I'm talking like berry stains and this sort of thing too. Occasionally we'll have to get like an OxyClean sort of cleaner to get them out, but it's cleaned up really well. And the seat cushions, the covers on those are actually removable, so that's nice. And here we are at the kitchen table, or our dining room table. We don't have a separate dining room. But I'm getting the table cleared off so that I can clean it because there's definitely food stuck on here. And we're going to give a little dust to just a few things that are in here, including the lights. I realize I'm dusting right over my laptop, so I close that. Although now that I'm watching, I definitely had more cups of tea using that same cup, and I probably got dust all in that cup. And here I am wiping down the booster seat and the high chair. The high chair has a removable cover, which I do wash sometimes, but it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get the straps detached, and the straps are some of the dirtiest parts of it. But it actually comes clean with a wet wipe fairly well. So I'm just settling for that today, and I'm just tossing all the food on the floor because I know I'm going to get the floor in a little bit. All right, now that the cleaner's soaked in, I'm going to wipe off the table. And I definitely do not hit the legs of these chairs, even though they are filthy. I just didn't feel like it. There's all kinds of like food and milk splatter. But that's for another day. That's for a day when I like clean the walls and that sort of thing. This was just trying to get the worst of it up. And apologies in advance if I repeat myself. This is actually the second time I've done this voiceover, because the first time I was a bit of an idiot and I was holding the microphone instead of just clipping it on my shirt. And my peas were so poppy and horrible that I was not about to publish that for y'all because no one would listen to that because it was horrible. And so apologies if I've said things multiple times. I can't remember if I said it the last time or if I said it this time. All right, and in the kitchen, and you can't really tell, but there are so many dishes on that back countertop, that corner where I'm in right now. And the disappointment of opening this dishwasher and realizing that it has not been run and is indeed full. So I'm going ahead and getting that started, then realizing I'm going to have to wash way more of the dishes by hand than I thought, just to get them done and off this countertop. So I'm just stacking them up here. It's kind of hard to see because we do have an espresso / coffee maker in the background there, and then there's another appliance back there that my husband got for Christmas. It's like it's an ice maker, but it makes the really small, chewy cubes of ice. So that lives on our countertop, unfortunately, now, because we just do not have a lot of countertop space. And then, of course, my electric kettle is over there as well. That cabinet just beyond the sink is like our tea, coffee cabinet. And I'm just trying to get through these dishes as quick as possible. And when I hand wash, I tend to just get a sponge, squirt some soap on it, and then wet the sponge and just clean until I need to re-wet the sponge and re-soap it. I don't generally run the water or run a basin of water because I feel like when I fill up the sink with water, it just gets so dirty so quickly that it doesn't seem worth it. And then I just fling the dishes into the other side of the sink until it's the sink full, and then I can rinse them. You can hear the car zooming by. I know at some point a fire truck goes by. I don't know if it's in this part of the video or not, but that's always fun. Yay, we're at the rinsing stage. sorry, I know these faraway views aren't as satisfying to watch, but hopefully if you are cleaning with me, we just hit around 15 minutes in the video. So hopefully you've had a good 15 minutes of being productive if you have decided to use this as a clean with me. And if you're doing a 15-minute timer, you can stop now, yay. Or if you are just relaxing with a cup of tea, like I'm realizing, dear God, I need another cup of tea, so I can get the water started in the background again in the kettle so I can have another cup. I hope this is relaxing for you to watch. I know some people probably find it boring, but I find it relaxing to watch other people clean. Not quite sure why, but it is. There's something very satisfying about the sound of the cabinets closing in this as well. Maybe that's just me. While doing this voiceover, my dog's giving me a dirty look because he wants to go to bed. I'm sorry, I'm keeping you up, Max. This pan we have is so old, we probably need to get rid of it. It has non-stick stuff on it, but I feel like it's scratched up to where we probably shouldn't be using it. But all of our other skillets are cast iron, which is what I'm cleaning. Oh, no, this is the Instant Pot. Which sounds silly to say. We use it as a rice maker a lot. But here I go cleaning the cast iron. The other skillets we have are cast iron. And you can hear I'm using the little special like chain link sponge thing to clean them because they had quite a bit of burnt on food. But whenever I use that, I always have to use a regular sponge. Sorry if that sound is so irritating to anyone. Feel free to mute for a little bit. It doesn't last very long. But yeah, when I'm using that like chain link sponge that you get specifically for cast iron, I always have to wipe it down with a different kind of sponge because I feel like I can taste the metal if I just clean it with that kind of sponge. And then that's just disgusting and it puts me off the food. And here we go, vacuuming again. Gotta clean it out though so it works good. And another load of laundry. I did so much laundry this day, I have no clue how many loads of laundry I have. This is me discovering, yep, you put way too much in the dryer, that didn't work. Let me pull out some face palm, literal face palm there. It's probably too quick for you guys to see, but that was dry. Now let's put the sheets that didn't get dry back in here. Run it again. And you hear me getting the drying racks because in the washing machine was the quilts. And I knew it was going to be a while before the dryer would be free in any capacity to kind of dry that. So I figured I might as well get it started with an air dry. Alright, and look, another load's done. And I have gone outside and come back in from walking our dog Max. Like I said earlier, the temperature dropped quite a bit. It was like low 40s and rainy for that walk. So I'm bundled up in my long sleeve again. And this is me separating colors, which I almost never do. The pile on the left is, will this piece of clothing be ruined if it either gets dyed blue or red? And everything else goes on the right. My mother-in-law got the kids a few new items of clothing, so since it will be their first wash, I don't want to ruin the rest of the clothing. But yeah, normally I do not take this much time to sort out the laundry. Normally I do a load of my kids' stuff, a load of my stuff, a load of my husband's stuff, and then I do like linens and towels. And that just makes it way easier when I'm going through later and folding and hanging up stuff. That way I don't have to sort out which laundry goes where. And just tidying up the room a little bit. And I realized before I put this mattress cover on, maybe I should dust the bed because it's been a while. And that way any dust won't get on the freshly cleaned mattress cover. And I got to that bookshelf, and there's so much stuff on that bookshelf that I just said, nope, not going to do that right now. It's so tedious moving all that stuff around, which is why I don't generally have that much stuff on flat surfaces in the house. But this is kind of our catch-all. Some of this stuff would be elsewhere in the house, but because our children are still small and want to get into everything, that bookshelf is where a lot of our breakables end up, that we still want to, have out and see. But we do have one of those doorknobs that it's like a child-proof doorknob into the bedroom, since it's not child-proof in here. And this is very satisfying how well these pillows go in here. And then this last pillow is a little snot. It's a different kind of pillow. I have to shove it in there, force it in there instead of it going in nicely like the others. And here I am just consolidating all the stuff on here to piles that I need to deal with. Oh look, more dishes. Oh, I think that's something that Mac says that I've just internalized now. Apologies. Credit where credit's due. I think Mac from Midwest Magic Cleaning said that, and I've just watched so much of his stuff that I automatically think that now. It's one of those little earworms that just stays in your head. Like anyone from the Midwest knows the Menards jingle. That's another one that just sticks with you for life. And I really questioned whether or not I was going to unload this dishwasher. I really didn't want to do it. But this was a favor to future Sarah, who after supper would be wanting to put the used supper dishes into the dishwasher. And I knew the disappointment I would feel if I opened it and I had to empty the dishwasher first, because then the kids would want to help to empty the dishwasher. And while I love that about them, I love that they want to be involved, also keeping them from not killing themselves on the sharp knives and stuff that we put in here is a little stressful at the end of the day after not sleeping very well the night before. Or, the past 4 years since being pregnant and having children. And here we go with another load of laundry. Go get the laundry basket. So this load is the kids' linens and stuff. So I think I scurry off to the nursery and dump that in there for later. and just chucking those wet clothes onto that chair there, since both of my drying racks are being taken up by my quilt right now. Usually I do, I can't believe I just said that. Everybody do-dos. Usually oh gosh, move past it, Sarah. Usually I do a lot of laundry on the days that I work from home, but it's never quite this much. This is like every single piece of fabric in the house needed to be washed this day almost. Also, English is a weird language. On what earth is saying the same word twice in a row? Like, how is that correct? I know a lot of other languages do that, at least with sounds, if not specific words. But yeah, English is weird that way. And here I'm loading the washer a little bit slower because it's my husband's stuff, so I always check all his pockets. And I should have, I did pull out like 2 Starburst out of his pants pocket, and I should have taken that and eaten them as a laundry tax, but I did not. I was nice. I gave them back to him. There's me loving on Max a little bit because he's such a good boy. And so we started this video in the nursery, and we're going to end the video in the nursery here. You can see me just remaking their beds and, in general, getting the nursery set up for tonight when they go to bed. So my daughter needs to have her stuffies and her Gisela Draft Lovey in the bed with her. Look at me tossing these mattresses around like they're nothing. Me loving on Max more because I startled him by dropping that mattress in there. If you've watched this far, thank you so much for all your support. If you like content like this, please go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.